श्लोक जो लोड़िंदे राम सेवक से कांडिया नानक जाने सत साईं संत नाउ बाहरा. Those who long for Vaheguru are said to be his servants. O Nanak, this must be considered as a fact that Vaheguru is not distinct, different from his saints. The people who are trying to seek Vaheguru have been united with him by the God himself. Chant मिल जल जल है खटाना राम संग ज्योति ज्योत मिलाना राम समाए पूर्ण पुरख करते आप है जानिए तह सुन सहज समाध लागे एक एक वखाणिए आप गुप्ता आप मुक्ता आप वखाना नानक प्रम पै गुण बिनासे मिल जल जले खटाना. The soul of the Guru-minded people merges with the prime soul in such a manner just as water mingles with water without any distinction. The Guru-minded people, they've united with God Almighty and become a part and parcel of God so that they consider themselves as an embodiment of Vaheguru himself. The concentration of such people is completely immersed in worship of Vaheguru, who is in a state of bliss and equipoise, totally detached, and they sing the praises of that one God sublime only. Vaheguru is always hidden from the human eye and is perceived free from any bondage. He is seen by Guru-minded people speaking to them as they are bestowed with such a realization. O Nanak, such Guru-minded people have cast away all their whims and fear complex, including the love of three-pronged Maya, worldly falsehood, consisting of lust for power, greed, jealousy, and peace. In fact, they are merged with the true Master, just as water mingles with water. Vadhans Mahalla Panjama Prabh Karan Karan Samratha Ram Rakh Jagat Sagal Dehatha Ram Samrat Sarna Jog Swami Kripanidh Sukhadata हो कुर्बानी दास तेरे जिन्नी एक पछाता वर्ण चिन्ह न जाए लखया कथन ते अकथा बिनवंत नानक सुनो बिनंती प्रभ करण कारण समरथा. That Vaheguru, the God sublime, is all-powerful and capable of doing all our functions, and all the causes and effects of everything are under his control. In fact, the God protects and sustains the whole world through his support by giving his helping hand. Vaheguru is our benefactor, the fountainhead of grace and benevolence, all-powerful and our supporter all the times. I would offer myself as a sacrifice to such Guru-minded people who have realized the God sublime. O Vaheguru, you are not having any form, symbol or hue and are indescribable, being beyond our comprehension. O Nanak, may the all-powerful God, who is the cause and effect of everything, listen to my prayers and solicitations. ए जी तेरे तू करता राम प्रभ दुख दर्द प्रम रहता राम भ्रम दुख दर्द निवार खिन में रख ले हो दीन दयाला। मात पिता सुआम सज्जन सब जगत बाल गोपाला। जो शरण आवे गुण निधान पावे सो बहुड़ जन्म ना मरता। बिनवंत नानक दास तेरा सब जी तेरे तू करता। O Vaheguru, all the beings in the world have been created by you, as you are the creator of everything in this universe. O true Master, you are the God Almighty, capable of casting away all our ills, afflictions, whims, and lethargic tendencies. O God Benefactor, may you protect us by ridding us of all our afflictions and sufferings, including dual-mindedness. O Vaheguru, you are my mother, father, friend, companion, and my true master, while the whole world, all the beings, is like your children. Whosoever takes refuge at your lotus feet attains the wealth of true name, the source of all virtues, and saves oneself from the cycle of births and deaths. O Nanak, I, being the devotee of God, would pray to Him that all the beings belong to Him, as He is the creator of all the beings. आठ पहर हर ध्याये राम, मन इच्छेड़ा फल पाये राम। मन इच्छ पाये प्रभ ध्याये, मिटे जम के त्रासा। गोविंद गाया साध संगाया, भई पूरन आसा। तज मान मोह विकार सगले, प्रभु कै मन पायै। बिनवंत नानक दिन सरैणी, सदा हर हर ध्यायै। By meditating on Vaheguru 24 hours a day, the fruits of heart's desires are obtained. One's heart's desires are obtained by meditating on God, and also the fear of death is dispelled. I sing of the God of the universe in the Sat Sangat, the company of the holy, and my hopes are fulfilled. Renouncing egoism, emotional attachment, and all corruption, we become pleasing to the mind of God. O Nanak, I pray day and night to meditate forever on Vaheguru Har Har. Darwaje anhat vaje Ram, kat kat har Govind gaje Ram। गोविंद गाजे सदा विराजे, अगम गोचर ऊंचा। गुण बेअंत किछ कहण न जाए, कोई न सकै पहुँचा। आप पाए आप प्रतपाले, जी जंत सब साजे। बिनवंत नानक सुख नाम भगति, दर वजह अनहत वाजे। The all-pervasive, unstrung music of nature is heard all the time at Vaheguru's abode, and there is joy and happiness all around. In fact, the God is present in all the beings and speaks through various forms of human beings. Vaheguru, he cannot be seen with human eyes, cannot be approached by human feet, is the highest and greatest in the world, and pervades everywhere, being omnipresent, and he alone speaks through various individuals. The virtues of God are limitless, which cannot be described by us, and none can comprehend him, being beyond our comprehension. Vaheguru has created all the beings with the help of 5 elements, and sustains all the beings, big or small, after creating them. O Nanak, the true bliss of life is attained from God's worship and by reciting true name, or in the company of holy saints. O Vaheguru, your praises are being sung in the whole world all the time. राग वडहंस महला पहला, कार पंजमा लाहणिया। एक सतगुर प्रसाद। धन सिरंदा सच्चा पातशाह, जिन जग तंदे लाया। मूलत पुन्नी पाई भरी, जानियड़ा कत चलाया। जानी कत लिखिया आया, रुन्ने वीर सबाए। काया हंस थिया विछोड़ा, जा दिन पुन्ने मेरी माए। जेहा लिखिया तेहा पाया, जेहा पुरब कमाया। धन सिरंदा सच्चा पातशाह, जिन जग तंदे लाया। Blessed is the Creator, the true King, who has connected this whole world to its task. When one's time in the world is up and the measure is full, this dear soul is caught and driven off. The dear soul is driven off when the preordained order is received, and all the relatives then cry out in mourning. The body and the swan's soul are separated when one's days are past and done. O my mother, as is one's destiny, so does one receive according to past actions. Blessed is the Creator, the true King, who has linked the whole world to its task. साहिब सिमरहो मेरे पाइयो, सबना एहो पयाणा। इत्थै तंदा कूड़ा चार दिहा, आ गए सर पर जाना। आ गए सर पर जाना, ज्यों मेहमाना। काहे गारब की जय, जित सेवियै दरगह सुख पाइयै। नाम तिसै काली जय, आ गए हुक्म न चलै मूले। सिर सिर क्या विहाना, साहिब सिमरे हो मेरे भाई हो। सबनाए हो भयाना। Meditate in remembrance of God, that Master. O my siblings of destiny, everyone has to pass this way. False entanglements last only few days. One must surely move on after that. One must surely move on like a guest. So why does one indulge in ego? Chant the name of Vaheguru. Serving him, you shall obtain peace in his court. In the world hereafter, no one's commands will be obeyed. According to their actions, each and every person proceeds. Meditate in remembrance of God and Master. O my siblings of destiny, everyone has to pass this way. ज्योतिष पावै समरथ, सो थियै हीलड़ा एहो संसारो। जल थल महियल रव रहया, साचड़ा सिरजनहारो। साचा सिरजनहारो, अलख अपारो। ताका अंत न पाया, आया तिनका सफल भया है। इक मन जिन्नी त्याया, टाहे टाह उसारे आपे। हुक्म सवारण हारो, ज्योतिष पावै समरथ सुथियै हीलड़ा एहो संसारो। Whatever pleases Almighty God, that alone comes to pass. This world is an opportunity to please Him. The true Creator God is pervading and permeating the water, the land, and the air. The true Creator God is invisible and infinite. His limits cannot be found. Fruitful is the coming of those who meditate single-mindedly on Him. He destroys, and having destroyed, He creates. By His order, He adorns us. Whatever pleases the Almighty God, that alone comes to pass. This world is an opportunity to please Him. Nanak runna baba janiye, je rove lae pyaro। वाले वे कारण बाबा रोइए, रोवण सगल बिखारो। रोवण सगल बिकारो, गाफल संसारो। माया कारण रोवै, चंगा मंदा किछ सूझै नाही। एहो तन एवै खोवै, ऐथे आया सब खो जासी। कूड़ करो हंकारो, नानक रुन्ना बाबा जानिए, जे रोवे लाए प्यारो. O Nanak, he alone truly weeps, O Baba, who weeps in the God's love, one who weeps for the sake of worldly objects, O Baba, weeps totally in vain. This weeping is all in vain. The world forgets the God and weeps for the sake of Maya. One cannot distinguish between good and evil and waste away this life in vain. Everyone who comes here shall have to leave. To act in ego is false. O Nanak, he alone truly weeps, O Baba, who weeps in Vaheguru's love. Vadhans Mahila Pehla Aavo Milo Saheliyo Sachda Naam Leha Roveh Birha Tan Ka Apna Sahib Samaleha Sahib Samale Panth Nihale असां भी उठे जाना जिसका किया तिन्ही लिया हुआ तिसे का पाना जो तिन कर पाया सो आगे आया असी की हुक्म करे हाँ आवो मिलो सहेली हो सचड़ा नाम ले हाँ. O friends, O my companions, come, let us join together and sing the praises of God by reciting the true name of Vaheguru. Let us remember and worship Him by attaining Him. Let us weep over this human body separation from God and Master. Let us remember Him in contemplation. Let us remember that Vaheguru in Master and keep a watchful eye on the path. We shall have to go there as well. He who has created also destroys. Whatever happens is by His will. Whatever He has done has come to pass. How can we command Him? Come, O my companions, let us meet together and dwell upon the true name. मरण न मंदा लोका आखिए जे मर जाने ऐसा कोई सेव्यो हो साहिब समरथ आपना पंथ सुहेला गए होए पंथ सुहेले जाव हो ता फल पाव हो आगे मिले वडाई पेटे स्यों जावो सच समावो तापत लेखे पाई महली जाए पावो खसमे पावो रंग स्यों रलिया माणे मरण न मंदा लोका आखिए जे कोई मर जाने. Death would not be called bad, O people, if one knew how to truly die. O people, if anyone were to realize the right mode of death, then there is no harm in accepting it. In fact, we should serve Vaheguru by reciting His true name so that the passage to the next world is made simpler and comfortable. If you were to follow such a path, lead this life with peace, then you will enjoy the eternal bliss as a reward and receive it in God's presence with honor. If we were to proceed to the next world by reciting true name through the grace of and merger with Vaheguru, then we would enjoy the bliss of life and our honor will be maintained, saved, and we could attain God. Thus we could enjoy the eternal bliss by winning the favor of Vaheguru and attain His unison. O brother, the death of a person who knows the right mode of death by ridding oneself of egoism and I amness is not to be considered as bad. मरण मुनसा सूर्या हक है जो हुए मरण परवाणो, सूरे से आगे आखिएं, दरगह पावहि साची माणो, दरगह माण पावहि पत स्यों जावहि, आगे दुख न लागे कर एक ते आवहि, ता फल पावहि जित सेवियै पाओ पागे, ऊंचा नहीं कहना मन में रहना, आपे जाने जानो, मरण मुण सा सूर्या हक है, जो होए मरहि परवाणो. The death of brave heroes is blessed if it is approved by Vaheguru. They alone are acclaimed as brave warriors in the world hereafter, who receive true honor in the court of Vaheguru. They are honored in the court of Vaheguru. They depart with honor, and they do not suffer pain in the world hereafter. They meditate on one God, and they obtain the fruits of their rewards. Serving the God, their fear is dispelled. Do not indulge in egoism and dwell within your own mind. The knower himself knows everything. The death of brave heroes is blessed if it is approved by the God. नानक किसनो बाबा रोइए, बाजी है एहो संसारो, कीता वेखै साहिब आपना, कुदरत करे बिचारो, कुदरत बिचारे तारण तारे, जिनकी आसो जाने, आपे वेखै आपे पूजै, आपे हुक्म पछाणे, जिन किछ किया सोई जाने, ताका रूप पारो, नानक किसनो बाबा रोइए, बाजी है हो संसारो. O Nanak, why should we cry and wail? O brother, this creation is only a worldly drama of Vaheguru, who is the magician, and it's perishable. The God watches his creation of this drama and deliberates its functions through his nature. Vaheguru has enacted this drama through the worldly falsehood Maya and managed this creation. The God who has created us knows our good and bad deeds himself and appreciates our actions, and he himself follows God's will in the form of his saints and watches everything. The God's personification is truly great, who has created this universe, and he knows everything. O Nanak, for whom should we wail at this loss, once we have realized that this worldly creation is perishable and transient? It is clearly known that the worldly drama is based on worldly falsehood, Maya. Vidhans Mahalla Pehla Dakhani, Sach Siranda Sacha Janiye, Sachra Parvatagaro, जिन आपी ने आप साजिया, सचड़ा अलख अपारो, दुए पुड़ जोड़ विछोड़ियन, गुरबिन कोर अंधारो, सूरज चंद सिरजियन, ऐनिस चलत विचारो. O Vaheguru, you are the true creator and the real true benefactor, sustainer as well, and you are known as an embodiment of truth, and the world has been created by the limitless and incomprehensible God from himself. Then both the earth and skies have been joined like the two parts of grinding wheel, and having created this universe, this worldly drama has been kept separate, distinct from himself. Both parts have been kept separate from each other, but in this whole creation, without the Guru's guidance, there is complete darkness due to lack of the light of knowledge. He created the sun and the moon, night and day, they move according to his thought. सचड़ा साहिब सच तू सचड़ा देह प्यारो रहाओ तुध सिरजी मेदनी दुख सुख देवण हारो नारी पुरख सिरजिया बिख माया मोह प्यारो खानी बाणी तेरिया देह जिया आधारो कुदरत तखत रचाया सच निबेड़न हारो. O true God and Master, you are true. O true God, bless me with your love. Pause. You created the universe. You are the giver of pain and pleasure. You created man and woman, the love of poison and emotional attachment to Maya, the four sources of creation and the power of the word are also of your making. You give support to all beings. You have made the creation as your throne. You are the true judge. आवागमन सिरजया तू थिर करणे हारो जमण मरणाई गया बधिक जियो बिकारो भूंडड़ै नाम विसारिया बूढ़ड़ै क्या तिस चारो गुण छोड़ बिख लद्या गुण का वण जारो. You created comings and goings, but you are forever stable, O Vaheguru. In birth and death, in coming and going, the soul is held in bondage by corruption. The evil has forgotten the Naam. One drowns. What can one do now? Forsaking merits, one loads the poisonous cargo of demerits. Then one becomes traitor of sins. सदड़े आए तिन्ना जानिया हुक्म सच्चे करतारो नारी पुरख विछुन्निया विछड़िया मिलन हारो रूप न जाने सोहणिया हुक्म बधी सिरकारो बालक बिरत न जाननी तोड़न हेत प्यारो. The beloved soul has received the call, the command of the true God. The soul, the husband, has become separated from the body, the bride. The God is reuniter of the separated ones. The Yama, god of death, is made responsible to carry out the orders of Vaheguru as per his will. They are not bothered about their ugly or beautiful forms while carrying out their functions. Neither the Yama is bothered about the age of the individual, whether one is a child or old person, as they are only interested in separating the beings who have developed love for each other. Now the ठाके हुक्म सच्चे हंस गया गैणारे सातन छुट्टी मुट्ठी झूठ वितणिया मृत कड़ा अंगनड़े बारे सुरत मुई मरमाइए महल रुन्नी दरबारे रोवो कंत महेली हो सच्चे के गुण सारे. The 9 outlets of the human body are closed and the soul proceeds to the heavens after death. Thus the human being's soul was separated from the body after death as per his will, like the woman from her spouse who was enamored by the love of the worldly falsehood, thus being robbed. The being feels completely lost and undergoes suffering when the dead body lies in the house or in the courtyard. O soul brides of the husband God, we should cry out and dwell on the glorious praises of the true God. Jal mal jani nawalya kappad pat bare वाजे वज्जे सच्ची बाणिया पंचमुए मन मारे जानी विछुन्नड़े मेरा मरण भया त्रिग जीवन संसारे, जीवत मरै सो जानिए, फिर सचड़ै हेत प्यारे. The dead body is given bath by beloved ones, and after changing clothes, the body is kept on the wooden planks being tied down, and the true name of Vaheguru is recited. At that moment, time of death, all the five senses stop working, and all the thoughts come to a grinding halt. With the death of the spouse, even the wedded woman faces practical death. With the separation of the soul from the prime soul, the individual dies. Now the life of the woman without the spouse is not worth living and is like a curse. But the true death lies in the human being getting rid of one's egoism by developing love of God's spouse. One should become humble, ridding oneself of the egoism, behaving like a dead person who is unaffected by joy or sorrow. तुसी रोवो हो रोवण आई हो, झूठ मुट्ठी संसारे, हाउ मुठड़ी तंदे तावणिया, पिर छोटियड़ी विधण कारे, कर कर कंत महेलिया, रूड़े हेत प्यारे, मैं फिर सच सलाहना, हाउ रहस्यड़ी नाम पतारे. O robbed human beings, like the robbed woman, you had come in the world for crying and wailing only at your loss, so you will continue crying. This human being, due to his egoism, has been separated from God's spouse and wanders around, engrossed in worldly falsehood. There are many beloved ones of God's spouse who are blessed with the love of Him, and they are truly beautiful at their heart. I have always recited the true name of God by singing His praises, thus enjoying the bliss of life, like the wedded woman enjoying the conjugal bliss of her spouse by winning his love. गुर मिलिया वेस पलटिया, सातन सच शिंगारो, आओ मिलहो सहेली हो, सिमरो सिरजनहारो, बैर नाम सुहागणी, सच सवारण हारो, गावो गीत न बिरहड़ा, नानक ब्रह्म विचारो. Meeting with the true Guru, the soul bride's dress is transformed and she is adorned with truth. Come and meet with me, O brides of the God. Let's meditate in remembrance on the Creator God. Through the Naam, the soul bride becomes the God's favorite. She is adorned with truth. Do not sing the songs of separation, O Nanak. Reflect upon God. वटहंस महला पहला, जिन जग सिरज समाया, सो साहिब कुदरत जानो वा, सचड़ा दूर ना पालिए, कट कट शब्द पछाणो वा, सच शब्द पछाणो हो, दूर न जानो हो, जिन एह रचना राची, नाम ध्याए तां सुख पाए, बिन नावै पिड़ काची. जिन थापी बिध जाने सोई, क्या को कहे वखाणो, जिन जग थाप वरताया जालो, सो साहिब परवाणो. That one and only God and Master who creates this world also dissolves the world. He alone knows His creative power. Do not search for true God far away. Recognize the word of Shabad in each and every heart. Recognize that Shabad in each and every heart and never think that Vaheguru is far from you. He has created this creation. Meditating on his Naam, the name of Vaheguru, one obtains peace. Without the Naam, one plays a losing game. That one and only God who has established this universe, He alone knows the way. What can anyone say? The one who established this world cast the net of Maya over it. Accept Him as your God and Master. Baba आया है उठ चलना अध पंधै है संसारो वा सिर सिर सचड़ै लिखिया दुख सुख पूरब विचारो वा दुख सुख दिया जेहा किया सो निभ है जी नाले जे कर्म कराए करता दूजी कार ना पाले आप निरालम तंदै बाधी कर हुक्म छडावण हारो अज कल कर दिया काल व्यापै दूजै पाए विकारो. The person who is born in the world has to face death also one day, has to die. This world is only halfway through this passage of human's life. Each person, based on the earlier actions, has been predestined by Vaheguru to undergo certain comforts and sufferings as per Vaheguru's will. So each individual has to face in life certain joys and sorrows as ordained by God based on one's own actions. Oh Baba, this mortal comes and then he gets up and departs. One who is born in the world has to face death also one day. This world is only halfway through this passage of woman's life. Upon each and every head, the true God has written their destiny of pain and pleasure according to their past actions. That Vaheguru bestows pain and pleasures according to the deeds done. The record of these deeds stays with the soul. One does those deeds which the Creator God causes one to do. One cannot attempt any other actions. God Himself is detached while the world is entangled in conflict. By His command, He emancipates it. This mortal does not perform any good deeds, being engrossed in vicious, thoughtful, or sinful actions, and thus waste this whole life in postponing things, of reciting true name. Finally, this mortal gets caught by the god of death, Yama, engaged in dual-mindedness, and having spent whole life engrossed in vices and sins. जम मार्ग पंथ न सुचये उछड़ अंध गुबारो वा ना जल लेफ तुलाइया ना भोजन परकारो वा भोजन पाओ न ठंडा पानी ना कापड़ श्रृंगारो गल संगल सिर मारे उभो ना दिसै कारोबारो इबखे राहे जमन नाही पछताणे सिर पारो बिन साचे को बेली नाही साचा एहो बिचारो. The path of death is dark and dismal. The way cannot be seen. There is no water, no quilt or mattresses. There is no food there. One receives no food there, no honor, no water, no clothes. for decorations, the chains are put around one's neck, and the messenger of death standing over one's head strikes him. One cannot see the door of one's home. The seeds planted on this path do not sprout, bearing the weight of one's sins upon the head. One regrets and repents in the end. Without the true God, no one is a friend, a true friend. Let's reflect upon this as the truth. बाबा रोवे रवहे सो जानिए है मिल रोवे गुण सारे वा रोवे माया मुठड़ी तंदड़ा रोवण हारे वा तंदा रोवे मैल न तोवे सुपनंतर संसारो ज्यों बाजी कर पर मैं फूले झूठ मुट्ठी अहंकारो आपे मार्ग पावण हारा आपे कर्म कमाए नाम रते गुर पूरै राखे नानक सहज सुभाए. O Baba, the true mourners are those people who join the company of holy saints and sing the praises of God with sweet language, thus getting detached from the worldly pleasures. People whose intelligence, wisdom gets blurred due to the falsehood, Maya, they mourn at the loss of the worldly possessions which are considered permanent and real to them. They are engrossed in the world, which is like a dream and temporary, and they cry at the loss for worldly chores. Their hearts are not purified, just as we forget the true God while watching the worldly drama of Vaheguru, being engrossed in egoism, and we undergo sufferings being caught by the worldly bondage, thus getting robbed by it. The God Himself is empowered to lead us on to the right path by engaging us in the virtuous deeds, as He is the cause and effect of everything. O Nanak, the people who are imbued with the love of God have been saved by perfect Guru, bestowing them with a peaceful nature, and the Guru has saved them in the fourth state of equipoise. With हंस महला पहला बाबा आया है उठ चलना ए जग झूठ पसारो वा सच्चा कर सचड़ै सेवियै सच खरा सचियारो वा कूड़ लब जा थाई न पासी अग्गै लहै न ठाओ अंतर आओ न बैसो कहियै जो सुंजै कर खाओ जम्मण मरण वड्डा विछोड़ा बिन सै जग सबाए लब तंदै माया जगत भुलाया काल खड़ा रुआए. O Baba, whoever has come will rise up and leave. This world is merely a false show. One's true home is obtained by serving the true God. Real truth is obtained by being truthful. By falsehood and greed, no place of rest is found, and no place in the world hereafter is obtained. No one invites such faithful person to come in and sit down. Such faithless people, they are not received with respect and honor anywhere, just as a crow comes back empty-handed from a deserted house without getting anything to eat after crowing there for long. In fact, the birth and death of a person entails a great separation in which the whole world perishes, being engrossed in this cycle. Vaheguru has thus made this world lost in various world wrangles due to its love for worldly falsehood, Maya. Thus this human being is always wailing in the fear of death, which could cut his life short any time. The god of death could catch him any moment, as he's waiting for a chance to strike. बाबा आवो पायो गल मिल है, मिल मिल दे असीसा है। बाबा सचड़ा मेल न चुकई, प्रीतम किया दे असीसा है। असीसा दे वहो भगत करे वहो, मिलिया का क्या मेलो। एक फूले ना वहो थे हो था वहो, गुर शब्दी सच खेलो। जम मार्ग नहीं जाना, शब्द समाना, जुग जुग साचै वेसे। साजन सैण मिलो संजोगी, गुर मिल खोले फासे। Come, O Papa and the siblings of destiny, let's join together. Take me in your arms and bless me with your prayers. O Papa, union with true God cannot be broken. Bless me with your prayers for such a union with my beloved God. Bless me with your prayers that I may perform devotional worship, service to my God, for those already united with Him. What is there to unite? Some have wandered away from name of Vaheguru and they've lost the path. The word of Guru Shabad is the true game. Do not go on death's path. Remain merged in the word of the Shabad, the true form throughout the ages. Through good fortune, we meet such friends and relatives who meet with the Guru and escape the news of death. बाबा नांगड़ा आया जग में, दुख सुख लेख लिखाया। लिखेड़ा साह ना टल्ले, जेड़ा पुरब कमाया। बैसाचे लिखिया मृत बिखिया, जितलाया तितलागा। कामण आरी कामण पाए, बहुरंगी गल तागा। होछी मत भया मन होछा, गुड़ सा मक्खी खाया। नामर जादाया कल पीतर, नांगो बंध चलाया। Oh Papa, this human being was born naked in this world and then enjoys comforts and undergoes suffering in life as predestined by God's will, based on his earlier actions and dictated by Vaheguru as a reward for his own actions. Depending on our earlier actions, the time of our death is already fixed, which cannot be altered by us. We carry out those functions in life as are ordained by God's will, and we have to undergo sufferings or enjoy comforts in life as dictated by God, as per our fortune, based on our own actions, and we partake of the nectar of true name or the poison of vices and sinful actions. The worldly falsehood has enamored the whole world with its charm and placed around our necks the necklace of many colors, engrossed us in various activities. Due to the poor wisdom or intelligence, this human is engrossed in a life of vicious and sinful actions, like the fly being caught in the sweet sugar due to its charm, finally causing its death. Similarly, this human being gets engrossed in the sinful life due to its charm, but finally faces death, being caught in worldly bondage like the fly, as those very worldly pleasures then consume and destroy the individual instead of the individual enjoying those pleasures. Thus, this person engrossed in such thoughts comes naked in this world and then proceeds after that without anything, caught in chains. बाबा रोवो जे किसे रोवना, जानियड़ा बंध पठाया है। लिखिया लेख न मेटिए, दर हाकारड़ा आया है। हाकारा आया जात सपाया, रुन्ने रोवण हारे। पुत पाई पाती जे रोवह, प्रीतम आत प्यारे, पैरो वै गुणसार समाले, को मरै न मुया नाले। नानक जुग जुग जान सिजाना, रोवै सच समाले। Oh Papa, why do you cry and wail for a dead person who has been caught in the chains of Shama and taken to the next world? When the call of death comes from Vaheguru, no one could alter or stop it, as God dictates, as predestined by His will. It cannot be altered. When the death befalls a person, it is according to Vaheguru's will. Then the people around this person cry and wail at his loss, including son, brother, nephews, other relatives or dear friends. No one accompanies the dead person, and all become quiet and peaceful after their wailings. But if we were to sing the praises of God with love and fear and cry at our separation from Vaheguru, then it would be worth something, as this would be for some useful purpose. O Nanak, throughout the ages they are known as wise who weep remembering the true God. वडहंस महला तीजा, महला तीजा, एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद। प्रभ सचड़ा हर सलाहिए, कारज सब किछ करनै जोग। सातन रंड न कबहू बैसई, ना कदे होवै सोग। ना कदे होवै सोग, अन दिन रस भोग। सातन महल समाणी, जिन प्यो जाता करम विदाता। बोले अमृत बाणी, गुणवंतिया गुण सारह अपने। कंत समालह ना कदे लगे विजोगो। सचड़ा पिर सलाहिए, सब किछ करनै जोगो। Let us praise that true God, that Vaheguru, who is all powerful to do all things. The soul bride shall never become a widow, and she shall never have to bear any sufferings. She shall never suffer night or day, and she can continue to enjoy pleasure, merging in the mansion of our God's presence. She knows her beloved husband God, who is the architect of karma, and she speaks words of ambrosial sweetness. The virtuous soul brides dwell on God's virtues. They keep their husband God in their remembrance, and so they never suffer separation from Him. So praise your husband God, who is all powerful to do all things. सचड़ा साहिब शब्द पछाणिए, आपे लय मिलाए। सातन प्रिय खे रंग रती, विचों आप गवाए। विचों आप गवाए, फिर काल न खाए। गुरमुख को जाता, कामण इच पुन्नी। अंतर पिन्नी, मिलया जग जीवन दाता। शब्द रंग राती, जोबन माती। फिर कै अंक समाए। सचड़ा साहिब शब्द पछाणिए, आपे लय मिलाए. The true God and Master is realized through the word of Vahiguru's Shabad, and then he blends all with himself. Soul bride who's imbued with the love of husband God, who banishes her self-conceit from within, eradicating her ego from herself. Death never consumes such a soul bride again. As Gurmukh, she knows the one God. The desire of soul bride is fulfilled Deep within herself, she is drenched in His love. She meets that great giver, the life of the world. Imbued with the love for the Shabad, she is like a youth intoxicated. She merges into the very being of her husband God. The true God and Master is realized through the word of His Shabad. He blends all with Himself. जिन्नी अपना कंत पछाणिया हौं तिन पूछो संता जाए आप छोड़ सेवा करी फिर सच्चड़ा मिले सहज सुभाए फिर सच्चा मिले आए साच कमाए साच शब्द तन राती कदे न रांड सदा सुहागण अंतर सहज समाधि फिर रहया पर पूरे वेख दूरे रंग माणे सहे सुभाए जिन्नी अपना कंत पछाणिया हौं तिन पूछो संता जाए. Those who have realized their husband God, I go and ask those saints about him. Renouncing ego, I serve them and meet my true husband God with intuitive ease. The true husband God comes to meet the soul bride who practices truth and who is drenched in the love of true Shabad. She never becomes widow, she always is a happy bride. Deep within herself, she remains in celestial bliss of Samadhi. Her husband God is fully pervading everywhere, beholding him ever present. She enjoys his love with intuitive ease. Those who have realized their husband God, I go and ask those saints about him. पिरो विचुनिया भी मिले जे सतगुर लागे साचे पाए सतगुर सदा दयाल है अवगण शब्द जलाए अवगण शब्द जलाए दूजा पाओ गवाए सच्चे ही सच राती सच्चे शब्द सदा सुख पाया हूँ मैं गई पराती फिर निर्मायल सदा सुखदाता नानक शब्द मिलाए पिरो विछुनिया भी मिले जे सतगुर लाग है साचे पाए. The separated ones also meet with their husband God if they fall at the feet of the true Guru. The true Guru is forever merciful. Through the word of his Shabad, all demerits are burnt away. Burning away her demerits through the Shabad, the soul bride eradicates her love of duality and remains absorbed in the true God. Through the true Shabad, everlasting peace is obtained and egoism and doubt are dispelled. The immaculate husband God is forever the giver of peace. O Nanak, through the word of his Shabad, he is met. The separated ones also meet with their husband God if they fall at the feet of the true Guru. Vadhans Mahalla Tija सुनियो कंत महेलियो पिरशे वहो शब्द विचार अवगणवंती पिर न जाने मुट्ठी रोवै कंत विसार रोवै कंत समाल सदा गुण सार ना फिर मरै न जाए गुरमुख जाता शब्द पछाता साचे प्रेम समाए जिन अपना पिर नहीं जाता कर्म विधाता कूड़ मुट्ठी कुड़ियारे सुनियो कंत महेलियो पिर सेवहो शब्द विचारे. Listen, O brides of Vaheguru, let us serve husband, beloved God, and contemplate on the word of his shepherd. The wordless bride does not know her husband, beloved God. She remains in doubts, forgetting her husband God. She weeps and wails. She weeps, thinking of her husband God, and she cherishes his virtues. Her husband God does not die and does not leave. As Gurmukh, the happy soul bride, knows the God through the word of his shepherd, he is realized through true love. She merges with him. She who does not know her husband God, who is the architect of karma, is always deluded by falsehood. She herself remains false. Listen, O soul brides of Vaheguru, serve your husband God, your beloved, and contemplate the word of his shepherd. Sab jag aap payon avan jaan sansara Maya moh khwayan mar jamme varo vara mar jamme varo vara vade bikara gyan vihuni muthi bin shabde pir na payo janm gavayo रोवे अवगुणयारी झूठी फिर जग जीवन किसनो रोइए रोवे कंत विसारे सब जग आप पायोन आवण जान संसारे. Vaheguru himself has created this whole world. The world comes and goes. The love of Maya has ruined this world. People die to be reborn over and over again. People die, they are born again and again, while their sins increase without any spiritual wisdom. They remain deluded. Without the word of the Shabad, the husband God is not found. The wordless, false bride wastes her life away, weeping and suffering. He is my beloved husband God, the life of the world. For whom should I weep? They alone weep who forget such beloved God. He himself created this whole world. The world comes and goes. So pir sacha sad hi sacha hai, na ho mare na jaye, phuli fire tan yaaniya, rand baithi duje paaye, rand baithi duje paaye, माया मोह दुख पाए आव कटे तन छीजै जो किछ आया सब किछ जासी दुख लागा पाए दूजै जम काल न सूझै माया जग लूझै लब लोभ चित लाए सो पिर साचा सदी साचा ना उह मरै ना जाए. That husband God is true. He is forever true. He does not die. He does not leave. The ignorant soul bride wanders in her doubts and delusion. In the love of duality, she sits like a widow. She sits like a widow in the love for duality through emotional attachment to Maya, and hence she suffers in pain. She is growing old and her body is withering away. Whatever has come, all of this shall pass away. Through the love of duality, we suffer in pain. They do not see the messenger of death. They long for Maya and their consciousness is attached to greed. That husband God is true, forever true. He never dies, he never leaves. इक रोवे फिरे विचुनिया, अंधी ना जाने फिर नाले, गुर प्रसादी साचा फिर मिले, अंतर सदा समाले, फिर अंतर समाले सदा है नाले, मन मुख जाता दूरे, नानक सातन मिले मिलाई, फिर अंतर सदा समाले, इक रोवह फिर विचुनिया, अंधी ना जाने फिर है नाले. There's some who weep and suffer separated from their husband God. These blind ones, they do not know that their husband God is with them. By Guru's grace, the soul brides may meet with their true husband, and they cherish him always deep within. The soul bride cherishes her husband deep within herself. The husband God, beloved, is always with her. The self-will manmukhs think that he is far away. This body rolls in the dust and is totally useless. It does not realize the presence of the God and Master. O Nanak, that soul bride is united in union. She cherishes her beloved God forever deep within herself. Some weep and wail separated from their husband God. The blind ones do not know that their husband God is with them. वडहंस महला तीजा, रोवे फिरे विछुनिया, मैं फिर सचड़ा है सदा नाले, जिन्नी चलन सही जानिया, सतगुर से वह नाम समाले, सदा नाम समाले सतगुर है नाले, सतगुर सेव सुख पाया, शब्दे काल मार सच उरतार, फिर आवण जान न होया, सच्चा साहिब सच्ची नाई वेखै नदर निहाले, रोवह पिरो विछुनिया, मैं फिर सचड़ा है सदा नाले. My beloved God is ever present within me and abides within my heart, my soul, so why should I mourn his loss? However, the people who are separated from God's spouse are wailing at their suffering due to their separation from Vaheguru. Such people who have realized the truth of death, they always serve the God by reciting true name. Such Guru-minded people have enjoyed the eternal bliss by considering Guru close to themselves through recitation of true name and serving the Guru. They have overpowered the God of death through the Guru's word and inculcated the love of true God in their hearts. As such, they have saved themselves from the cycle of births and deaths. Vaheguru, who is our true Master, bestows us with the eternal bliss when he blesses us with his grace and benevolence, and there lies his greatness. Vaheguru bestows on us his true name through his grace. Normally, such people who are separated from God's spouse, like the soul bride separated from husband God, they cry and moan, but I have inculcated the love of beloved God in my heart, so I do not wail or cry. प्रभ मेरा साहिब सब दूजा है, किव मिला प्रीतम प्यारे, सतगुरु मेले ता सहज मिले, फिर राखे और तारे। सदा और तारे नेहो नाल प्यारे, सतगुर ते फिर दिसै। माया मोह का कच्चा चोला, तित पैंधै पग खिसै। फिर रंग राता सो सच्चा चोला, तित पैंधै तिखा निवारे। प्रभ मेरा साहिब सब दूचा है, क्यों मिला प्रीतम प्यारे। How could I unite with my beloved God? My true master is the purest and highest of all. The Guru has enabled me to unite with true God through his grace, and I have inculcated his love in my heart in the state of equipoise. Such people who have developed the love of God's spouse with devotion have perceived the God through Guru's guidance. Due to the love of the will of worldly falsehood, which is false and transient, this mind moves away from God's true name and gets attracted towards the worldly pleasures. By wearing the robe of worldly love, we are distracted from Vaheguru with an impaired wisdom. The people who are imbued with the love of God, they are true, leading a successful life, and with this background, the person can cast away all the worldly desires. Will someone tell me how to meet and unite with my beloved God spouse? My true God is higher and purest than all others, being the greatest of all. मैं प्रभु सच पछाणिया, होर भूली अवगणिया रे। मैं सदा रावे फिर आपना, सचड़ै शब्द विचारे। सच्चै शब्द विचारे, रंग राती नारे। मिल सतगुरु प्रीतम पाया, अंतर रंग राती सहजे माती। गया दुश्मन दुख सबाया, अपने गुर को तन मन दीजै। ता मन पीजै, तृष्णा दुख निवारे। मैं फिर सच पछाणिया, होर भूली अवगणिया रे। I've realized the true God, whereas the other unvirtuous people have forsaken the God's spouse. We could enjoy the conjugal bliss of God's spouse by meditating on the Guru's word, who is always enjoying this himself, being present within us. Such people who meditate on Guru's word with love and devotion of God, they unite with beloved God in the company of the true Guru, just as the wedded woman gains the love of her spouse. Such a Guru-minded person gets imbued with the love of God and enjoys the state of equipoise, casting away the vices of wanton desires that cause a lot of suffering to the individual. Once we surrender our body and mind to God's spouse through Guru's guidance, we get imbued with his love, thus casting away all our worldly desires. Having realized Vaheguru, I am fully immersed in God's true name, whereas the self-willed people, having forgotten him, do not inculcate any virtues, and they continue wandering in the world as virtueless people. सचड़ै आप जगत पाया, गुर बिन कोर अंधारो। आप मिलाए आप मिलाए, आपे दे प्यारो। आपे दे प्यारो, सहज वापारो। गुरमुख जन्म सवारे, तन जग में आया आप गवाया। दर साचै सचियारो, ज्ञान रतन कट चानण होआ। नानक नाम प्यारो, सचड़ै आप जगत पाया। गुर बिन कोर अंधारो। The true God Himself created this world. Without the Guru, there is only pitch darkness. He Himself unites and causes us to unite with Him. He Himself blesses us with His love. He deals in celestial peace. The life of Gurmukh is reformed this way. Blessed is His coming into the world. Gurmukh banishes self-conceit and is acclaimed as true in the court of true God. The light of the jewel of spiritual wisdom shines within Gurmukh's heart, O Nanak, and he loves the Naam, the name of the God. The true God Himself created this world. Without the Guru, there is only pitch darkness. Vadhans Mahalla Tija एहो शरीर जजरी है इसनो जर पहुँचे आए गुर राखे से उबरे होर मर जम्मे आवे जाए हो मर जम्मे आवे जावे अंत गए पछतावे बिन नावे सुख न होई ऐथे कमावे सो फल पावे मनमुख है पत खोई जमपुर कोर अंधार महागुबार ना तिथै पैण न पाई एहो शरीर जजरी है इसनो जर पहुँचे आई. This body is frail, old age is overtaking it. Those who are protected by the Guru are saved while others die to be reincarnated, and they continue in this cycle again and again. Others die in the cycle of reincarnation, and in the end they depart regretfully. Without the name there is no peace. As one acts here, so does one obtains one's rewards. The selfful manmukhs lose their honor. In the city of death there is pitch darkness and huge clouds of dust. Neither sister nor brother is there. This body is frail. Old age is overtaking it. Kaya kanchan taathiye Jan Satgur laye milaye Pram maya vichon kattiye Sachde naam samaye Sachde naam samaye Har gun gaye Mil pritam sukh paye Sada anand rahe din rati Vichon ho mein jaye जिन्नी पुरखी हर नाम चितलाया तिनके हों लागों पाए काया कंचन ताथिये जा सतगुर लय मिलाए. When that Vaheguru merges the human being with himself through Guru's guidance and grace, this body becomes beautiful, as perfect like the gold. Then, on uniting with God, this man gets rid of all the whims and fancies, misgivings due to the love of Maya. By singing the praises of God and reciting God's true name, this human being enjoys the eternal bliss by merging with Vaheguru. Then one is able to cast away one's egoism and enjoys the conjugal bliss in the unison of God day and night. We would seek refuge at the lotus feet of such Guru-minded people who have inculcated the love of God in their hearts. Thus their body becomes pure like gold, provided God unites one with Himself. So sacha sach salahiye je Satgur de bhujhaye bin Satgur param pulaniya kya muh desan aage jaye kya din muh jaye avgun pachtaye दुख दुख कुमाए नाम रतिया से रंग चलूला फिर कै अंक समाए तिस जेवड़ अवर न सुझई किस अज्ञा कहिए जाए, सो सच्चा सच सलाहिए, जे सतगुर दे बुझाए. We truly praise that God, the true God, when the true Guru, Satguru, imparts that understanding. Without Satguru, everyone is deluded by doubt, going to the world hereafter. What face can they display? What face will they show when they go there? They will regret and repent for their sins. Their actions will bring them only pain and suffering. Those who are imbued with Naam are dyed in the deep crimson color of God's love. They merge into the being of their husband God. I can conceive of no other as great as Vaheguru. Unto whom should I go and speak? We truly praise the true God when the true Guru imparts that understanding. जिन्नी सचड़ा सच सलाहिया, हाउ तिन लागो पाए. सेजन सच्चे निर्मले, तिन मिलिया मल सब जाए. तिन मिलिया मल सब जाए, सच्चे सरनाए, सच्चे सहज सुभाए. नाम निरंजन अगम अगोचर, सतगुर दिया बुझाए. अनदिन भगत करे रंग राते, नानक सच समाए. जिन्नी सचड़ा सच ध्याया, हों तिन कै लागो पाए. I would fall at the lotus feet of such people who praise the truest of the true. Such humble beings are themselves true, immaculately pure. Meeting with them, all filth is washed off. Bathing in the pool of truth, one becomes truthful with intuitive ease as we meet with them. The true Guru has given me the realization of the Naam, the immaculate name of God, the unfathomable, the imperceptible. Those who perform devotional worship to the God night and day, they are imbued with His love. O Nanak, they are absorbed in true God. I fall at the feet of those who meditate on the truest of the true.